And here is a map of the current Transpennine route upgrade scope. You'll notice a distinct lack of that scope going out to Hambleton Junction, which I think is silly because that would make a very useful diversion route. But anyway, so here is all there's this. Mike C asking if we could turn the old viaducts into a nice linear part. Now we'll need it for railway access, I suspect. Anyway, so here's the Transpennine route upgrade. You'll notice that there are capacity challenges at Church Fenton because there's a diversion of a railway route. Challenges, you can see Colton Junction, by the way, just south of York. That's what that is, not March. Obviously, Leeds is a big old bottleneck with lots of converging lines. Down at Victoria, you've got Staley Bridge, which is a connecting point, and south of Huddersfield as well. Staley Bridge has had its remodelling. Huddersfield, there's quite a bit of remodelling down that end. Victoria has already had a lot of work done to it. You'll see that there is a big bottleneck here, though, between Huddersfield and Ravensthorpe. A big old, basically, two railways overlaid on each other through this section of line, and it is a big squiggly capacity problem. By the way, this map, obviously, we're going downwards on our journey that we're soon going to do, that we did a minute ago. We were going that way from Dewsbury southwards. Here's another diagram. Excuse my rationing of pixels, particularly on the existing alignment. Here you can see basically what the point of all this work is, what's actually happening to free up this bottleneck and why all that heavy civil engineering is going on at Ravensthorpe. Well, basically what we're doing is creating, from Dewsbury, when the two tracks split apart, there will be a dedicated pair of fast lines with nothing intersecting them until reaching the ladder just to the east of Huddersfield. This is a good thing. It means that you will have a situation where you can run non-stop services on those red lines and stopping services on the blue lines. Because it's not speed on electric railway that, differential speed necessarily that's a problem on a mixed traffic railway like this. It's the stopping patterns, the different stopping patterns that cause the headache. So you can see on the left side, the existing railway is a two-track railway with extra stuff sellotaped on here and there. On the right-hand side, the new proposed the line between Huddersfield at the top and Ravensthorpe down at the bottom, showing that the reds will be dedicated fast lines with nothing interrupting them. The blue lines will be the route for the stopping services. It makes good sense. Hambleton Junction is miles away from here. Hambleton is on the spotting the question from Mike C. Hambleton is the connection to the Selby diversion and the Leeds to Selby line. We'll be there later. Anyway, so what else? Yeah, the point here is that this work has been derived based on understanding the needs of the timetable. So look back to last week's episode, and actually, this is an example of kind of the railway infrastructure being defined by the timetable needs of the idealised, perhaps not quite as intensive a timetable as we'd like, but an idealised and also clock face timetable. So looking at clock face departures from Leeds, what do those look like? So, departures 5, 15, 20, whatever the time to be. Looking at those departures and how they, where trains catch up with each other or don't, and realising that the trains catch up shortly after Dewsbury Station. What is shortly after Dewsbury Station? All of what we just looked at. Ravensthorpe, that's the area where the catch-up happens. And so that's the area where you end up having the value of a fully segregated section of fasts to get into Huddersfield. So you get more overall capacity. It means that you don't have the problem that you have on a mixed traffic two-track only railway. This is how much civil engineering it takes to do this, though, online. The only reason we can do that is because there's a load of ex-industrial and ex-railway land that we can gobble up to do this. By the way, the top there is kind of the modelling of the timetable stuff to explain what the justification is. The bottom is sort of explaining why we have a splitting set of slow lines separating out either side rather than a sort of if you like, a double junction and then the pair of tracks sort of just splitting on next to each other. So kind of why the grade separation is quite as extensive as it is, as we see it, is because we need to avoid that conflict of the fast and slow services crossing across from each other. So it just gets rid of that conflicting move there.